home to me is a place where you can be yourself no matter what, where you're always safe and you're always looked after, and it's always a place where you're the most special.
Home means family. It means safety, it means security, it means warmth. It can mean living by yourself, it can mean raising a child, it can mean having an elderly parent live with you. Home is like, it's where the heart is.
It's a place for you to call my place, to have your life stored, your belongings, your beloved stuff, little tokens of your family and your background and so on. That Bobbit is absolutely important, crucial to everybody.
Home is somewhere where I can live comfortably and not have to worry about what I can afford and what I can't, and somewhere where my kid can live comfortably. Somewhere that's not a dump.
Just about anybody in this day and age has to be really aware that times can change in a heartbeat, and people can find themselves homeless easier than they can imagine.
I don't think anyone's immune to falling on hard times, and these days hard times can be defined by working for minimum wage.
I hate to think of it. I think it would be impossible for me to find anything where I would be completely comfortable.
It's bad when you gotta pick your son up and then you gotta bawl his eyes out because he wants to stay with his mom, but he can't because his mom got nowhere to live. It's stressful.
When you live in a place that's run down, like you feel kind of dirty and worthless and all that. But when you live in a nice place, you feel a lot better about yourself.
I would say that the vast majority of people in the middle, who are ordinary people with decent jobs, with different circumstances in their lives, could be at risk, especially in an economy that we have, where the cost of housing is oftentimes outstripping income.
Trying to pay the rent and all the bills and childcare on top of it, as I said, is $1,600 a month. It doesn't leave much room for anything.
Well, it's getting harder and harder, and I know of a number of people who own houses who are finding it increasingly difficult in this economy to make their mortgage payments and their insurance payments on top of those things.
But it could be your daughter who gets divorced. It could be a lovely young couple where both of them lose their jobs or have tremendous medical expenses. There's, almost any of us can find ourselves in a situation where we need some help to find affordable housing. And I think perhaps there is a stereotype around housing, but it's really your neighbor.
I just want somewhere to settle down and relax. I'm never relaxed. That's what my dreams are. That's it. I want to go to school. I want to have a good life for my son. My son's homeless and he's only 2 years old. That's bad. It's not good.
For us newcomers, we are, in our culture, big family is the must. You have to have, your parents with you. Your parents are not dropped into some elderly, care house. They stay with us because they take care of our children. So we need a big house, accessible for people with disabilities and old age and so on. So all those elements makes it a real challenge.
I think everybody needs a home to do anything they want to do. You can't do anything on the street.
How are people getting by is really difficult to understand. Sometimes when I just look at my own situation or a close friend that's, not making $100,000 a year like some people, you just wonder how we end up making ends meet. We somehow have to find a way, and that's all there is to it.
The market is getting a little bit crazy, and you can find a nice one-bedroom accommodation for $500. And around the block is going to be $1,200, So there's no market, stability around that you can count on it.
I'm just trying to better my life too and trying to live in a nice house.
Having an affordable house just for mental state of the parents and the kids not having as much stress put on everybody that's in the household, but also having a healthy environment and a healthy mental state for everybody, that at least you can have maybe a little bit of cash at the end to go out to a movie or even rent a movie, or be able to have cable and the internet, and just the small luxuries that a lot of people have that a lot of people don't because they can't afford it.
It's absolutely crucial that we find some kind of solution to the increasing homeless population, because I do believe that it will increase as years come.
It's easy sometimes as policymakers to forget to not move outside the boardroom, to lose sight of your fellow citizens and what their various economic needs might be. And the first thing that I would ask would be for policymakers to remember to stay human and think about the people that live in their community, their neighbors, their elderly parents, their friends. Think about your fellow citizen and don't be blind or willfully ignorant of the needs in your community.
Think about everybody who lives in Newfoundland, not just the people who are attracted here for new development and the oil economy. Don't forget about the people who have been living here for years and working here for years and who are functioning as just an important part of the economy as those people. We need affordable housing too.
The reality is that there is an increasing gap as housing prices have been rising at exponential rates. People's incomes have not been rising at the same rate. And as that gap increases, the only way to satisfy it is to have more housing on the market, or more. I think we also need more housing that is subsidized or with good community supports. But that is where the influence or the participation of the three levels of government have to come into play.
There's a lot more need out there right now that I don't think a lot of people are aware of how much people are really scraping by. And these people can be heroes by doing that kind of thing. They can really change the world. And we all need heroes.
No, it's not even about being rich, but you don't need money to be happy. You just need a house. That's what I need to be happy, a house.
And I can't imagine a Newfoundlander with a big family around not being able to find a house, in their own home country. That should be harder even, than us, because we, at the end of the day, we resign, We say, okay, well, I'm a refugee, what can you do? But if you're a Newfoundlander, this is your home, this is your land, and the system is not allowing you to have a house. That has to be really, really hard.
I think the people who are most interested are those people who have maybe aging parents themselves or relatives with disabilities. And if they don't have them now, the chances are pretty great that they're going to have them in the future.
Hopefully down the road I'd probably have an apartment or a house if I could, or I just want to be happy.